This clip is called Early Planning for School. It's the first in a series of 4 short video clips which follow a child with a disability's transition to school.
When I was looking at schools to start my son in, I was considering things like what sort of support they had. Did they allow things like occupational therapy aides to come in and do sessions, transition to school programs, things like that?
So for this family, they came in approximately 6 months before school when I first met them, and they had already identified that most probably they wanted a mainstream setting, however were quite concerned about how that could go for their child. And within those mainstream options, they were looking at 2 or 3 different schools within their local area. They had decided that perhaps their local school, the one that their child should or had a right to be enrolled in, may not be the best option for him. And that was based on a range of factors.
For us, the most important thing was to be there as a bit of a sounding board and to listen to their experiences, talk with them about their priorities for schools. And the transition to school resource gave us some really good guidelines about the best way to do that and the sort of questions to ask and things to think about.
The thing that decided it for me, the school that my child is currently at, we came to have a meeting with the principal and nothing was a problem. I brought all the paediatric reports, all the information that I had about my child. The preschool that he'd been attending for 2 days a week that year, prior to starting kindergarten, they helped. They wrote some information about my child, what they knew about his behaviour and his skills and his needs and areas where he might be needing development. So they provided lots of information for the principal as well, and we were welcomed with open arms, and I felt very relieved. I wanted somewhere that was a family environment that could nurture my child and allow him to be confident and comfortable and safe, and that's certainly how he feels in this school.
So when a child who has identified special needs or comes into the school, it's very important that child is that the consultation with the parent is very, very early on, but also continuous. So once students are recognised, we'd be working very closely with both the parents, the community, the teachers. Teachers will be accessing resources within the department, consulting with the department. Perhaps it might be that additional funding needs to be put in place. These things all need time to be planned, and so it's very important in the transition process that those issues are recognised.
I think other practical things that we can do is be available for the families if they're going to any sort of transition to school meeting. So we're there as a support and someone who knows their child really well because we've spent a lot of time with them, and as an advocate for them and their child. And in the transition to school resource, there's some great tips for advocacy when talking to schools.
So for this family, I didn't need to go to meetings with them, but providing them with the critical information about, what they could expect, what they should expect, and also, how to have really productive conversations from the start. For families that are starting from the very beginning, it's really useful to, for them to begin exploring the website from the very, very beginning.
We didn't know the system because it was our first go at it. So that person at the early intervention provider really helped to smooth the way for us and help us to understand the ins and outs and the traps for new players. So yeah, it was a big relief.